So welcome everyone. This is the Your Return to Tech programme in association and sponsorship with Holiday Extras. Delighted to have you here. I'm just going to talk you through the agenda for the webinar. In a minute, I'll give you an overview of the Tech Returners team, and I will share a little bit about the background and story behind Tech Returners and where we are to date. Then we're going to go into a bit more detail around the Your Return to Tech programme, and James is going to talk about the different elements of that programme. Then I'll hand over to Matt, and he'll be introducing 4 members of the Holiday Extras team, and we'll be sharing some insights in terms of why they have decided to work alongside ourselves and work with the Your Return to Tech programme. Then Matt will cover the application process, so everybody's clear in terms of how that process works. And then myself and 2 returners will come and talk about their experiences of previous programmes, so a bit about their background, what their thoughts were of the programme, and then in terms of what they're doing now. It really gives you a feel in terms of what to expect, and then there's obviously an opportunity, like I said, to ask any questions, whether that's to the Tech Returners team, to the Holiday Extras people, employees, and also to the previous returners. So there's lots of opportunities to learn a bit more information. So for those of you who don't know me, I am Becky. I am CEO and co-founder here at Tech Returners. So as you see on the screen, these are all the people behind the scenes at Tech Returners. So today you'll hear from James, who is also co-founder and CTO and runs the program delivery in terms of from a technical perspective, and also Matt Jones, who is head of talent and partnerships, who works alongside our sponsors such as Holiday Extras. Then we have James's technical team. So we've got Ellie, who's a software engineer and tech coach, alongside Kim, and you'll see Heather on there. Heather was one of our first tech returners back in 2017, all those years ago, and now she is a front-end developer for Auto Trader, and come full circle to basically pay it forward now and share her knowledge and expertise with future programs. Then in terms of from the talent perspective, some of you have maybe already spoken with Bobby, either through application process or screening calls. So Bobby looks after in terms of career readiness alongside myself. And then we have Emily. Again, you might have spoken to Emily in terms of those the emails about the webinar that come out from Emily, who looks after the programme. And then we have Kerry and Victoria, who look after the operations. And then we have Natasha, Robin and Natalie, who look after from the marketing perspective. So these are all the people behind the scenes at Tech Returners. So since 2017, when I talked about Heather being involved in the programme, we've enabled over 120 people back into careers within technology, and 65% of these were women. So we're not really stopping there, but I wanted to give you a bit of background in terms of the story. So my background is people, talent and HR, and I've been involved in that sector for the past 18 years, and the past 15 years have been involved in technology, so scaling high growth tech businesses through the value of people. Back in 2012, I fell pregnant with my first child, Ethan, and at the time I was on a leadership team, and I was the only woman on that leadership team, and then became the only parent. And I had my first experience of that challenge of leaving a very fast-paced industry and transitioning back. And I really started to understand in terms of the impact around affecting my confidence, affecting networking, because everything seemed to be in the evening, and with a young family, I couldn't go to them. And obviously with in the technology sector, things move so quickly. So obviously keep it afresh in terms of skills. So when I transitioned back, I sort of reached out to my network and realised around the gap around supporting people back into technology after a career break. James and I got our heads together in 2017, and we wanted to explore whether there was an opportunity of supporting people transitioning back into technology. And we launched 2 pilot projects. So Heather, as I mentioned, was one of those, or was one person on that pilot project, and we had great success, and people like Heather transitioned into companies such as Auto Trader, AO and Think Money. So we knew we were onto something, and we wanted to support more and more people transitioning back into technology careers, but remaining true to our core value, which is accessibility. So as you're aware, we don't ask for any money around the programs. The programs are free for people looking to return to tech. And in terms of how we facilitate our learning environment, it's very, very accessible for people. So over the next few years, we worked with a number of organisations helping more people transition back into careers in companies such as the BBC, Lloyds Banking Group, A&S, Infinity Works, to name a few. And last year we transitioned in from Manchester, and we also then added London. And we're delighted to now work with Holiday Extras, which is our first fully remote program, and I'm sure we'll hear about a little bit more about that later on in the webinar. So in terms of what we offer and our commitment to you from the Your Return to Tech program, as I mentioned, it's a free program to upskill yourselves and develop you. So we look for people who have had previous careers in technology and have had a career break for whatever reason, so whether that's childcare related, caring responsibilities, illness, etc. And we provide upskilling opportunities in not only technical, but also personal development, and work with Holiday Extras to help you then transition back into roles within that organisation. And what we ask in return, and your commitment to us, is that if you're successful in terms of the application programme, you will complete the full programme and apply for roles with our sponsor, Holiday Extras. You will commit on average 30 to 35 hours per week to the programme and be focused on transitioning back into a career in tech. So in terms of thinking about whether it's right for you, those are sort of the expectations that we actually ask for. So making sure that it's the right moment for you to transition back. So I'll pass over to James now, who will talk over the programme overview.
Well, thanks, Becca. Yeah, so hopefully I'm coming through on the audio. In terms of the programme itself, you'll see there it's split into a pre-journey phase, where that really sets you up for the programme. That's kind of before we get into the nitty-gritty of the programme, shall we say. But that pre-journey phase really just gets those coding muscles going again, and kind of solving what we would call like kata-based exercises to kind of just get working with JavaScript and refreshing on that JavaScript knowledge, because it's a JavaScript focused programme with Holiday Extras. Then we move into software fundamentals for 4 weeks, and all of the cohort will do that fundamental phase for those 4 weeks. And then from after 4 weeks and the final kind of 4 weeks, it goes into either a front end track, depending on the nature of the role you're interested in, or a back end track. Again, I'll cover what those topics are for front end and back end. And then following the programme, of course, is interviews and into the Holiday Extras hiring process. In terms of the team that you'll be working with, actually for this programme, it is all the people that you see on your screen. So the thing I probably want to point out on this slide is that we are all engineers. So each one of us there are software engineers by trade, and each one of us have different skill sets as well. So you can see myself and Kim, we're largely kind of, I would say, back-end engineers with back-end, business logic, whereas Heather and Ellie very much focused on front end and kind of the front end experience and front end engineering aspects. So that we all interact with each of us. So of those how the program is split up of those sections that you saw before. The pre-journey, that is a blend of technical exercises, kind of very much, if anybody's done things like code wars or things like that to get kind of practicing coding, it's very similar to that. But again, we will feed back to you during those exercises. We'll look over your code, give you feedback, and help you even grow as a developer in those early stages as well as a mix of blend of personal development as well. We talk around like growth mindset and things like that in those early stages for pre-journey. Really, the goal is setting you up for a successful program. Each of the tasks will be in JavaScript. We just jump back just quickly for me, Becca. Sorry. Each of the tasks will be in JavaScript, and the goal really is to complete those before the program begins, because we build on that as we go into the fundamentals stage. And on to the next one. In the software fundamentals phase, we'll talk through with you and give you exercises around kind of common engineering practices such as modeling in your code and object-oriented principles, data structures and algorithms. We'll talk to you about design principles and clean code, as well as an approach to testing using JavaScript frameworks and test-driven development. So in there, we'll explore things like test doubles, mocking, kind of those kind of testing topics. And the final weeks, we work through collaborative working as an engineer. So exploring more around kind of version control, but also practices that you'll become familiar with working into the engineering teams, such as kind of peer reviews or pair programming, and understanding various agile practices, so that when you kind of go into those roles with holiday extras, they'll feel a little bit more familiar in the practices that they're following. At that point, it splits off for front end and back end. On the front end, we focus in on taking you through this journey of HTML, CSS, and then through to kind of JavaScript front end applications. So we start off with semantic HTML and crucially accessibility, how to kind of make accessible web applications, and really tapping into that. CSS, not just from a kind of can I do styling, but also how to structure CSS at an enterprise level. And then we shift through to kind of JavaScript in the front end, particularly React, as you can see on the screen, and creating a React app, as well as kind of testing React applications and kind of structuring your code and things like React hooks and state management and things like that. That's on the front end. And then on the back end, again, it's a JavaScript-based program, this one. So we focus in on Node, and again, we'll focus on kind of advanced programming topics for the back end, interacting with data and databases, awareness of creation and testing APIs. So testing APIs that you've created. And again, that kind of builds on what you'll have learned in the fundamentals section. Design principles and design patterns. For around how you structure that backend code. And we do an introduction to DevOps, so touching on some cloud topics. In this, with Holiday Extras, it will largely be around Google Cloud Platform, or GCP. And then kind of we finalize around enterprise architecture patterns for, obviously we've got a lot of engineers on. A lot of that, if you want to do a bit of research prior to the program, that's around like event-based architectures and things like that, and different architectures to how you might structure an application. In terms of delivery, it's remote delivery as we are today, so via Zoom, and you've got we deliver all the materials and tasks via Google Classroom. You'll have all the access to the material and the recordings from each session for the program as well. We mix up the exercises with a mixture of individual work, so that you can have that moment to consolidate knowledge, with group work. I think in kind of the first week of fundamentals, we do some group exercises, and then pairing work as well, just to kind of get different approaches to learning and allow you, again, to meet the cohort and interact with each other. You know, you learn from each other as well as from us as tech coaches. We have a dedicated support network. So you have the tech coach team that you've seen there. We're on Slack as well. And we'll also book in Zoom calls with you, or anything you want to chat through or discuss around what you've implemented or anything like that. We're all here for that support. And you also have the dedicated cohort channel. So that's a channel dedicated to yourselves on Slack for your entire cohort, where you can share ideas and help each other and kind of network with your peers. The key thing for us is we'll always give clear and actionable feedback to allow you to develop over the course of the program. So timings wise, just so people can have a bit of a plan around timings, we've got this concept of core hours being 10 till 3. Now, what we mean by that is that's when, as tech coaches, we're around for any kind of support that you need. The sessions, when you'll be on Zoom, are largely 10 until 12. So from 10 until 12, that's where we're introducing topics, running through material, taking your questions over Zoom and things like that. And then after that time, the time really becomes your own. So you'll have seen earlier on, well, on this slide, it mentions 30 to 35 hours. Well, actually, that's time really that you get what you put in. So sessions wise, 10 till 12. Outside of that time, how you want to manage your time, if you've got to do caring responsibilities or do the school run and things like that, again, that's entirely up to you. And generally it's between 2 and 4 days per week. It's pretty much about most weeks it's 3 days, but some weeks we've got 2 days, you'll be on 10 till 12, and some weeks got 4 days. But if you kind of, for your timings, imagine 10 till 12, you'll be on a Zoom session, and then outside of that, it'll be how you want to work through those exercises yourselves. And it is like that last point there, it is busy, and you do get out what you put in terms of the program, but we will always be there to support you and give you feedback and develop yourselves as you journey through the program with us. Hands back.
Thank you, James. So I mentioned before, it's not just in terms of technical upskilling. We focus on career development, career readiness, and personal development. So like James said about his team, our team has over 33 years experience in talent, recruitment, HR. And so we work with you through a number of opportunities to make sure we're helping you support with that transition back into technology. And the ways in which we do that, so during the course of the programme, you will have one-to-ones with a dedicated talent partner, and we will talk to you about your own individual situation, how we can support you in different ways, and to make sure that you're in the best place possible as you transition into a role. Something revolutionary that we've started to do is to forget the CV, in terms, I'm sure that from experience from our previous returners, and I'm sure there's people on the call today that have seen biases when people read your CV in terms of your career gaps. So really wanted to change in terms of the way we work and really highlight in terms of technical skills, but also in terms of transferable skills. So we have built a returner profile to help you showcase your best skills to holiday extras. So rather than a standard CV, we'll help with you and work with you in terms of a returner profile. As you get towards the end of the programme, we start to build in interview support. So whether that's technical interview support, behavioural interview support, and just in terms of all around career confidence, in terms of helping your mindset get prepared to get into those interview situations. And as I mentioned at the beginning, growth mindset is something massively we focus on at Tech Returners. So I do a lot of work around introducing it as early as pre-journey and working with you all the way through the programme to talk about the value of having a growth mindset. So I'm just going to pass over to Matt, who will talk around our sponsor Holiday Extras.
Perfect. Thank you very much, Becky. Hello, everybody. I'm Matt. I'm head of partnerships here at Tech Returners, and I have the wonderful privilege to introduce you to Holiday Extras. So as Becky mentioned earlier on, Holiday Extras are our first remote sponsor, which is incredibly exciting. And over the course of the programme, you'll get to meet them in a variety of different capacities, from company presentations in your second week of pre-journey, where they will be presenting on a variety of different topics close to the hearts of everyone at Holiday Extras, followed by a series of lightning talks, which will be deeper dives into the day in the life of a software engineer, what's the technology stack like, D&I initiatives, etc., followed by the celebration event, which will be at the end of the programme. So I'd like to move on to the next slide and introduce you to Simon, Michelle, Steph, and Ruben. Becky, if you could move the slide over, please. Brilliant. Welcome, Simon, Michelle, Stephanie, and Ruben. So Simon is the Associate Director of Technology. Michelle, Associate Director of Strategic and Sustainability Development, which is a bit of a mouthful there. Steph is in the Tech Talent team, and Ruben is in engineering. So I'd like to welcome the four Holiday Extras to turn their cameras on, and I've got a couple of questions that I'd like to put to you all. Are you guys there? Oh, yes, there you are. Sorry, you were on a different screen. My apologies. Hello and welcome to the webinar today. So the first question I have is, why has Holiday Extras decided to partner with Tech Returners?
Hey everyone. So I'll take this one. So we started a recruitment campaign at the beginning of this year, and we really wanted to kind of look at different ways to attract people. So from an entry-level perspective, and we look at apprenticeships, and we have IP placement programs with universities, but we really wanted to attract experienced people. And so in our search to how we might do that differently, Steph, my colleague, she came across Tech Returners, and it wasn't a concept that we were familiar with, but one that we immediately loved. So I had good conversations with Matt, and then we met with James, and so I could have a bit more conversation around the tech bit, which is really important. And so we really immediately saw how aligned we were as companies, and so we were kind of in, and it was just a matter of whether we wanted to sponsor 3 people or we'd go with the kind of full program. And yeah, we were really delighted to kind of look at the full program. And what we really like is, you know, rather than the more traditional recruitment routes, we could help support people returning to the travel industry, the tech industry. We're in the travel industry, and you know, recognizing that as an industry that moves so fast, having any time out makes it really tough to get back in. And we loved that many of those people that we would be supporting would be women, and overall the program would help us to kind of support a more diverse talent pool, which was really important for us, really important for how, you know, what we're trying to achieve in terms of our diversity, equity and inclusion. So I guess it was exactly what we were looking for. We didn't know it existed, and you know, we're really excited to be part of the program.
Amazing. Thank you very much, Michelle. And the diversity in thought piece has been spoken about widely, which is what I really love about the programme and you guys joining. So thank you very much indeed. So moving on, what roles is Holiday Extras looking to hire?
So I'll take this one.
Yeah, wonderful. Thank you, Steph.
So we're looking to hire sort of mid and senior engineers to make an impact on various missions that we've got across the business. You know, there's lots we want to do, and we need talented people to help us achieve this. So there's a lot of exciting work that we have planned that you could potentially be a part of. So that includes our mobile app and trips team, where we're working on our e-commerce buying journey, moving to a more trip-centric approach where customers tell us about their planned holiday and how we can then add to it and make it more awesome by flourishing them with all the extras that they need. I've also got customer teams where they're reinventing chat and how we have a conversation with our customers, also getting customers to a resolution faster and in a way that's more convenient for them, as well as obviously more back-end teams looking at supply integrations, making sure we have the right products and the right price for our customers. So it's just lots of opportunity to work also on performance, speed, and generally awesome customer experience, which is all key to us here at Holiday Extras.
Amazing. Sounds really exciting. Thank you very much, Steph. What is it like to work for Holiday Extras?
I can take that one. Thanks very much.
Well, thanks, Ruben.
Yeah, so might be a little bit longer than some of the other answers, but hopefully that's okay.
Yeah, of course.
I joined Holiday Extras 5 or 6 years ago as an engineer, and I've since progressed through the kind of progression framework to a senior role. I specialise in back-end engineering, working most recently on various projects related to extending or improving integrations with partners.
Right.
I really love solving like complex technical problems and establishing new code and architectural patterns that can make dealing with that complexity much easier. So I'll just kind of summarize kind of what we do as engineers. So we work in sprints at HX with the kind of ceremonies that you'd expect for agile teams. So 20-minute daily stand-ups covering progress from yesterday, what you plan to do for the current day. And then we have the kind of typical planning at the start of a sprint and retrospecting at the end. We organize teams around streams of work. So typically a combination of like a product manager, 2 to 4 engineers, support from like a delivery and testing team as well. So just quickly, like day in the life of a senior engineer. So day typically starts with reviewing overnight monitoring and alerting for our core services. Any issues highlighted with that with our partner integrations, we'd usually kind of raise those up to the team. But then, as I mentioned, have like a stand up where we'll talk about what we're going to do for the day. I'll see if I can support any of the other engineers with the things that they're planning to take on for that day. And then we'll generally get cracking with the engineering tasks. So that kind of take precedence. So based on your stream of work, we'll have like a set of tickets lined up and we'll start cracking through those. Alongside building new features, there's also the opportunity to kind of review code for other engineers. So all of the code that goes through the organization gets put into a single Slack channel. So everyone can see it's completely transparent. You can review other people's code. You can kind of learn from that as well, which I think is really important.
Yeah.
And in terms of like meetings, we try and keep it to like a good balance. So I know other organizations I've worked for in the past, you kind of can get quite meeting heavy, but HX, we're trying to kind of keep it to a minimum. Like you can join any meeting you want to if you've got something to contribute, but there's no pressure to. You can just crack on with the work that you enjoy and you don't necessarily have to be spending all of the day in meetings. So yeah, so what I love about the role, I like the variation of it, like the variation between solving complex technical problems, but also supporting the team progressing the projects that they're working on. I also like that you can kind of mold the role so that it's not too prescriptive, the engineering role. You can mold it to the things that you are interested in, as long as you can kind of demonstrate that it's contributing to the business and adding lots of value, which I guess is the most important thing. But yeah, I think hopefully that gives you a good summary.
Yeah, no, that's fantastic. Thank you very much. Great to hear about career progression and the day in a life and everything that happens. No, that's wonderful, Ruben. Thank you very much.
Cheers,
and then final question, what are the career development opportunities like over at Holiday Extras?
Yeah, so hi, I'm Simon. I'll take that question. I think it's a great question, Matt. And I think as our audience will have seen from Ruben talking about his own progression through the organisation, I see lots of opportunities for individuals to progress. I can think of examples of people in our organisation now, many of my current senior engineers who joined us as graduates or very junior engineers, 5 or 10 years ago and have progressed through the organisation because of the opportunities we create. One of the things I like a lot is the investment we've put into a progression framework in recent years. Ruben mentioned it in his answer, but we've had our people leads working on building out a progression framework where an individual in the organisation, whether they're sort of an engineer 1, engineer 2, these are grading levels we use, or senior 1 or senior 2, they know where they are in the organisation and they know what they need to go after to get to the next level on their career ladder, as it were. And so I think we've made it really plain and simple to understand. I think the thing that goes really well with that is we have dedicated people leaders. I've seen in many technical organizations, they promote their senior engineers to be people managers, which can work for some. I'm someone that's built out a people side to my role as well as being a technologist, but quite often people want to remain close to the code and don't want to take on that people leadership. So we've brought in people leaders who come from other walks of life, HR or people leading within the contact center and other areas of our business. And we've made them excellent people coaches. So our engineers line manage into those people are having a coaching conversation with them on a monthly basis, and they're understanding whether that individual is happy progressing, understanding the areas they're in right now, or whether they're hungry for more. And in using the progression framework as a guide, they're able to see what they need to achieve next to get more reward and unlock more potential with it. So I think there's so many opportunities. I think the other great thing we're always willing to consider as well is sideways moves within the organisation. Ruben talked about streams of work within Holiday Extras, and quite often we find engineers who would have been working more back end or front end, or they're working in our customer chat area, and they're like, I've been doing this for 6 months, 9 months now. Actually, I want to go and work on something different and else. And if we can facilitate that move aligned with recruitment and also the amount of work in different streams, then we allow engineers to move, not all the time and not frequently, but across the organisation to different areas and disciplines, giving them a variety and extending their skill set in other code bases. So I think plenty of opportunities for career progression. I found it very exciting in my career watching junior engineers progress and go through the ranks and become more senior and taking on bolder, bigger problems.
Fantastic. I love that, Simon. Thank you very much. Just a real quick one for yourself, Michelle. Are you actually on holiday, or is that just a backdrop? And do we all get one?
You can all get one. A backdrop, not a holiday, but no, I am at home.
Wonderful. Brilliant. Thank you, Michelle. And back over to Becky. Thank you, everybody. So in terms of those that haven't applied, what you do next is go through to the application form, filling that out in as much detail as possible to really help us understand the reason that you're looking to return, specifically with Holiday Extras. You'll then have a call with one of the Tech Returners talent team, where we'll go through your answers and kind of give you any additional information that you may need. Following that, and if successful, and that's obviously from both sides, so it's about you being ready to return now and this being the right program for you, you'll move into a technical task. Now that technical task is designed to catch you in, not catch you out. It really just helps James and his technical team understand the level of tech that you're currently at. Following the completion of that and successful pass, we'll move you through to our assessment centre. Again, the assessment centre is designed to catch you in, not to catch you out, and you'll meet one or more members of the talent team, where we'll go through a variety of different exercises, from questions and behavioural questions around yourself and your past experience, really getting to understand the transferable skills that you have, as it's not all about the technical side. And then you'll be going into a pair programming exercise with another returner, so you'll actually get to meet, and we've already had some amazing feedback from returners that have been through the process and how wonderful it is meeting others. And then if the program is right and you're ready to return, you'll receive an offer from a member of the team. And if you don't have the application link, please check in the chat, as that's just been shared for you now. So now, Becky, back to you. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Matt. So I just want, for the next bit, we can talk about the programme, because obviously it's something that we're massively passionate about, and obviously we design and develop, but what really brings it to life is actually hearing from people that have actually gone through the programme, and to understand their background, and to more importantly understand in terms of what that's meant for them to do and transition back into technology. So I would like to welcome Sinead, who is Software Development Team Lead at AO.com, and Ginny, who is Software Engineer at Nando's. So I'll just stop sharing my screen, and they are on camera. Welcome, ladies. How are you?
Not too bad, thank you. Bit nervous.
Good. Right. If we could just start, Ginny, with yourself, if you just introduce yourself and just tell people a little bit about what's your previous experience before joining Tech Returners?
Yeah, thanks, Vicky. Yeah, my name is Ranjini, and I used to be a software engineer. I had a career break of around 9 years. So before that, I used to work as an RDBMS and ERP programmer. I moved to, after marriage, I moved to UK, so I couldn't find the right role. And because of family commitments, I had a break of around 9 years. Now my son is in school, so I thought I should get back to work. And I also took up an MSc program from Bath University in computer science, so that I could update myself. That helped me a bit. But then I came across tech returners who actually I couldn't believe that there was a program like this. But now I can say confidently that they helped me get through this gap of my technical gap. And I went through the program. And now I work as a software engineer at Nando's. I basically work on React and full stack developer. Yeah.
Brilliant. Thanks, Ginny. Thank you. And same to you, Sinead, just to give people a flavour in terms of your background and obviously what led you to join the Tech Returners programme.
So I've been in tech for a lot of years, and I took a career break for family reasons last February. But then, as everybody knows, it went into the pandemic, and I decided not to look for work for a while because I was homeschooling my 2 kids. But then whenever I started to look for work again, it was quite difficult because I had a number of things that I wanted, one of them being that I wanted part-time, and I ideally wanted some remote work and that, but I wanted to be technical still. And even though my gap was only 9 months because it was tech, it was still a big gap as far as the CV was concerned. So I found Tech Returners on the web, and like already said, I couldn't believe that it existed and it was free. And like you've mentioned, as well as all the tech help, there's a lot of help around it with the soft skills. Like this is not something I would normally be okay with doing, but I'm pushing myself out of my comfort zone because yeah, it builds around in your confidence, and it helps you with things like presentations and getting back into used to doing that sort of thing. And even working remotely, I hadn't worked remotely before the pandemic started, so working remotely with other team members was a big help before starting the job, because that's essentially how everybody's working now. So it was sort of like a trial run before we started the job. So yeah, and then my cohort was sponsored by AO, and in the same way, like with Holiday Extras, they did a lot of talks, so we got a good feel for the company. You could see what area you were most interested in. And then yeah, I applied and I got the team lead role and the part-time work, and yeah, it was really, really good in helping me get what I wanted out of the role as well. So thank you.
No, thank you. And can we I'd just like to recognise Sinead, AO had never actually recruited a tech team lead outside of their own organisation. So Sinead impressed them that much. Not only did she get her part-time, you actually got the first external tech team lead. So amazing achievement. So well done, Sinead. I think people on the webinar would be really interested to hear the pros and also the cons of the programme in terms of, you know, we try and set those expectations around the number of hours to try and maintain that, you know, you are transitioning back, you know, you've got to be prepared to put the work in for, you know, in terms of those additional hours. Jenny, if I could ask you just to highlight some of the positives of the programme, but also being realistic in terms of, you know, things that, you know, managing those expectations, what people can actually expect.
Yeah, definitely. Yes, before actually, as I had a break, I had to put in quite a lot of effort to get back to where I am today. So I didn't have any Java object-oriented programming or JavaScript background, but I had programming background. So I could get to the first thing I would advise is to do all the exercises that are given by the tech coaches. So there are a lot of exercises that are being given during pre-journey and also during the program. We were in fact grouped into groups and given projects, and we had weekly sprints, and we did all the project things that are required in a company, as a company would expect of a software engineer. We were given all those roles, and we saw to that we would complete all those sprints and the agile methodology and the project itself, working on the project. So I used to put in quite a lot of time as I had my son going to school. So there was a school pickup, drop, and the family commitments, cooking, everything. So I had to plan ahead and keep some time off for that. And After my son would go to sleep, I would be awake and I would complete all the exercises as told by the tech coaches. So, and also the cohort was really helpful. We had a separate channel for ourselves where we would have a tea time on a Friday morning, and we would discuss anything what we were facing during the program, and also help each other out whenever required. So this really helped me out, and a lot of planning also from my side and help from my family finally has brought me to where I am today. So and you should take a lot of help from tech coaches. I should mention that, and also help from Becky and the talent team to help improve our confidence level and also the interviewing part of it. So all these things, there's an overall help that's being given during the program. Yeah, highly recommended. Yeah.
Thank you, Jenny. Thank you. And Sinead, over to you. You touched upon about into your own show that you probably wouldn't normally be here talking about your experiences. So it has really pushed you into your growth. So what was your experiences of the program, the highs and the lows?
So I love the tech side. James and Heather and Ellie are so supportive and positive in all the learning. And you know, once you leave university and that, it's not often that you get this space to just learn and just enjoy learning, and that you can just ask questions, and any question you can ask, you can just throw it out there, and either the people with you or the team will get back to you with an answer. And there's so much support. It's a great opportunity. I found the pace of trying to form a team was really fast. So I would say that was the hardest thing for me. You basically, you don't meet these people, because mine was remote. I know you said this is the first remote one, but ours was pretty much remote as well. And you have to, it's hard to make a connection with people remotely. So we formed a team, and it's really fast into, you know, where you're starting to present your work to your company. And like normally in Agile, you go through storming and forming, and you have this process where it was like sort of storm, form, present. So that was very fast because of the nature of the program. But that was the bit I found hard. I also found it excruciatingly hard to do the elevator pitch, but Matt and yourself supported me a lot through that, to the point where I can pretty much do it now, not too bad. So yeah, you know, if you've got the time to do it, I would say it's a great opportunity to get back into tech, because the team really work hard at meeting what you want, both from a technical point of view and a personal point of view. It's very bespoke when you apply for the job, as in what your needs are and that. So you know, it's a really good opportunity.
And just building upon that, Sinead, what sort of things are you doing day to day now, so people have got a bit of an insight around what's the program enabled you to transition back into technology, and what sort of things do you get involved in now?
So our setup sounds quite similar to Holiday Extras. We're very agile orientated. So I'm the team lead. We have 2 back end, 2 front end. So my tech stack is React, which we did on the course, and I'm now doing on a more daily basis with C# at the back end. We do all of the agile ceremonies. So all of that was a big help getting back into that way of things. Myself and my team, we did regular stand-ups, and we do that remotely. And it was just really nice to have that experience of doing that before I started the job. And it sounds like Holiday Extras have a good framework, which AO is a similar thing, and I'm currently on my AWS certification path. So I'm continuing to learn technically because of the opportunities that were opened up through the program for me.
That's amazing. Amazing, throwing yourself into more learning.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's the tech side. I'm not doing any 20-minute presentations or anything yet. I've still got that to crack.
Yeah.
Yeah, I said yeah. I said yeah. My growth mindset said yeah.
Exactly, I love it. Sort of kept that growth mindset alive. Brilliant. And Jenny, just to give people a little bit of insight around what you're getting involved in for Nando's.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I'm in a team very similar to what Sinead said, and also the Holiday Extras explained. And exactly the same structure, and weekly sprints. We have a tech lead, 4 software engineers, 1 senior software engineer, 1 product manager, and a business analyst. So we go through the same set of agile processes and sprints every 2 weeks as a presentation, just like we had in Tech Returners. And also the sprints. Yeah, that's it. And yeah, daily stand-ups, 15-minute stand-ups, 2 stand-ups, and also meetings and time for a personal development time on a Friday. And yeah, the development time for us on a daily basis.
Oh, brilliant. Thank you both so much, obviously taking time out of your day and also out of your comfort zone to obviously present to everybody today. So I can't thank you enough to being involved. Now it's the opportunity to pass over to the people on the webinar. If you've got any questions that you would like to ask Holiday Extras, the tech team, Ginny and Sinead, please pop them in the chat. I think we've had a couple of them already. Matt, James, could I just ask you to come on, because I think I've got one, James, from yourself. A lady has asked, fundamental language framework is only related to Java, or is it any other program language? Yeah, Brill. So the program itself is JavaScript focused as a language. But if you've got experience in other languages, we'd still encourage you to apply, and we can explore it through your application process that Matt covered. So the actual program itself, JavaScript, but if you do have experience with other languages, please do still apply, because we can explore it through the process. Thank you, James. Member of the Holiday Extras team, there's a question, if someone wouldn't mind just popping on. So Natalia, hello, I work it's for us, work 3 days a week, 9 to 5. Is there a possibility for me to take part in the programme, evenings, weekends, on her days off? Sorry, it's about our programme, not about the working week. James? So yeah, I'd interpreted it the same as well. Apologies. I did the same. Apologies for that, yeah. Work 3 days a week, 9 to 5. Well, it's going to be, I mean, all the sessions are recorded, but I think if you're missing the sessions, it probably would be tough to follow along with missing that amount of sessions. So yeah, it probably would be quite challenging in that scenario, I think, just with the workload. I think because the sessions do tend to fall 10 till 12. Yeah, I think in terms of obviously making sure you're available for the sessions is important. If your working pattern falls outside those sessions, you know, it can be your responsibility to structure your work. But we do say that the sessions for the teaching perspective is sort of a mandatory process. So yeah. Sorry, James, I've got another one for you. Please, could you let me know whether coding experience is mandatory? I'm a software tester with a background in basic Java and Selenium. Would that be possible? So it is an engineering program. So coding experience kind of will come through. Again, I would encourage you to apply and let's see kind of where your engineering experience is. Just to set some context for that, we've had testing candidates apply and come through the program. Absolutely, you know, we've had that work well in the past. So please don't rule yourself out based upon a prior job title. If you've had some level of engineering, I'd encourage you to apply, and we can explore that with you throughout the process. Thank you, James. We've had another one just obviously regarding the schedule of work. Obviously, the main actual programme for Holiday Extras starts on the 11th of October. If you are successful through the assessment process, 2 weeks prior to that, so the 27th of September, you will join the pre-journey, where James talked about the elements of the pre-journey and how important that is. It's gearing you up for success. So during the process of those 2 weeks, you will be sent all the information around the scheduling, about what to expect. You get a welcome pack, you start collaborating with the cohort. So if you are successful, don't worry, we have good time to obviously make sure you've got the timetable and how you're going to work going forward. But if you've got any specific related questions about how it would work, if you've got other responsibilities, please do drop us a message throughout your application process, and we can make sure that we cover those off for you. Okay, we've got, oh, actually, Simon, could I ask you to pop on?
Of course.
I've got one. Holiday Extras is a travel platform company. What is the scope of the technology within that?
Yeah, it's a great question. It might not be obvious from the outside how technology plays a part. I think deep in its roots, Holiday Extras is a technology company that operates in the travel sector. We're servicing 7 million travellers a year. So people are booking their holidays. They need, we're well known for airport parking, airport hotels, lounges, travel insurance. Our buying funnel is online, and the majority of our customers buy online, not through our contact centre. So it is an e-commerce buying platform to buy all the ancillary products you want around your holiday. And that means that there is actually a lot of technology inside Holiday Extras to do that. Many years ago, it was a monolithic technology stack. Today, it's a series of about 300 microservices that run that. But that's pulling in prices from our supply chain, who have APIs, to surfacing that data in a very easy to use, simple to click mobile flow using React. We have a web app. Steph talked earlier about us moving to being trip centric. You tell us about your holiday, we'll tell you everything that will make it awesome. But we've also built other technology. We've built AI and chatbots. We've built technology around voice over IP, so making telephone calls into our contact center. The technology stack that runs that is written internally at Holiday Extras. And we build all the tooling around what helps us make code go to production. So there are many, many, many millions of lines of code at Holiday Extras in about 300 repositories. And there's a large scope to working on, whether you're a back-end superstar who wants to pull in prices from APIs, or whether you want to finesse those pixels and make the buying page the most optimal, that the amount of people that sort of type in their credit card number can transact with us as much as possible. There's plenty of opportunity. We also do lots on the acquisition side. So we're doing clever stuff around auto bidding on PPC, making landing pages that are high speed and therefore pass Google Lighthouse scores with over 90%, meaning we index at #1 place in Google. So lots and lots of variety and scope of technology.
Brilliant, thank you. Sorry, Simon, I hope I've got another one for you. I hope you understand, Nick, because I don't. Someone's asked, what's your take on the dark patterns in the shopping experience?
I'm not sure I fully understand the question, but I assume this is questions like, I won't name the companies, but hotel companies that say 2 left available to buy when there's many, or putting additional items in your basket, or not showing you the actual price at the availability page. And then when you get to the basket, the price goes up 10 or 20%. We're more transparent than that. Yes, we want to earn as much money from the customer as possible. We want to buy them to buy the best product for them, which might not be the cheapest. But we're into transparent pricing. You won't see the price jump when you get to the payment page. We might push additional upsells, but we're not too pushy around it. But actually, it's about understanding somebody's holiday and putting the right product in front of them. We've been very transparent through COVID. We've done vouchering back down bookings and allowing those vouchers to be redeemable for 3 years, even if someone's purchasing a product that previously wasn't amendable or only had a 12-day refundable deposit on it. So we've done lots of stuff to extend and go above and beyond what our actual obligations are to the customers.
Brilliant. And sorry, one last one, Simon. Just around the job location, and we obviously talked about remote. Do you just want to obviously confirm what that actually means in Holiday Extras world?
Of course, yes. So it's great to be working with tech returners to do their first fully remote stream and fully remote program. Holiday Extras, we've been working for about 5 or 6 years now, hiring remote UK engineers and other partners around the country, around the world as well. So we have engineers in Sofia and a few in India. The majority of our engineers, over 50%, are still coming in and present on our campus in Kent. We are located just outside Hyde in Kent. We have an awesome campus that is a pleasure to work on, but we are a fully remote employee. We have something internally called Anytime, Anywhere, which is our policy and approach to where people work and how they get work done. So it was great seeing a question earlier about the course and, you know, could I work 3 days and then make up the time in evenings and weekends? If you were successful at getting through the course and you come on to take a job at Holiday Extras, of course, I'm not in the office at 9 o'clock and I'm not in the office 5 days a week. You know, I'm working remote about 3 days a week. I walk my kids to school and rock up at about 9:20 and everyone's got used to that. But I'm online in the evening sending emails, not because I'm working my socks off and doing 50-hour weeks. It's because I choose to offset my day and work non-traditional hours. So anyone successful on this program who would then love a job at Holiday Extras, there is no mandate to be in the Kent office. We love it if people can visit us quarterly. So if people can make the effort to come down once every 3 months, but it's not required. And really, there is an opportunity to be a fully remote UK engineer being embedded in a highly performant team.
Thank you, Simon. I'll just answer one more question, but obviously there is some more questions coming in, so we will make sure we cover those off as well. The last question I'm going to cover is someone who talked about how many roles. So the cohort is of 16. So there's 16 people that be on the programme and there is 16 job opportunities. So what we don't encourage is competitive situations like that. So we wouldn't have 16 people for 12 roles. So there's a role for everyone because we want to ensure collaboration of working and supporting as many people as possible to transition back into technology. So there is a role available for all those 16 people who are successful on the programme, if they obviously successful in the programme and successful through the assessment process with Holiday Extras. But we're here to support you at every point in that journey. So thank you so much for the questions. I know that there's a few that we will pick up, and apologies, obviously we can't get to them all. Time's just ran away. We're just all the amazing content. So I'd like to thank, I think Matt's just got one quick question he would like to ask everyone.
Yes, please put your hands up in the chat if you're going to apply to the incredible Holiday Extras, or put yes or something along those lines. Let's just give them a big old cheers and say thank you very much for everybody taking part today. And we look forward to meeting the rest of you throughout the application process. So thank you very much.
Brilliant, fantastic, Matt. So I'd like to thank everybody at Holiday Extras for their time this afternoon. I'd like to also thank Sinead and Ginny spending their time to come and talk to people about their experiences. I would like to thank everybody who is on the webinar. We've got lots and lots of thank yous and obviously positive comments coming in around obviously applying for the Holiday Extras. James has actually had to pop off because he's now running a pairing assessment for the Holiday Extras programme. So please get your applications in quick. If you're looking to apply, we're in full flow of the assessment process at the moment. So please get your applications in. If you've got any questions or queries at all about your own individual situation, drop us a line and we'll make sure we'll get back to you as soon as possible. But thank you again and look forward to meeting you all. See you later.
Thank you, everybody. Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Bye.